Alright, so hello everyone. This is the guide to how to DPC spam like Yashiro forfeit and empatane, I guess. So today I'll be going over 4 um PCO solves and then how to do their seconds and then as well as DPC. Right. So this is the first solve that I'm gonna go into. It's SJI, and you can do the same thing with ZLI, right? So ZLI, and it's the same thing. And these lead to the same second PC. Yeah, so yep, this PC is pretty straightforward. Also, I'm not gonna be covering all the possible PCO solves. I'm only gonna be covering like 4. I mentioned 4, right? Yeah, so those are the ones that are the easiest to second PC. Right, so that's the first one to go over. Then the second one we want to go over is ITJ. Yep. So this, you can do this, or of course you could put the J first, and you could do the same thing with the L, except you have the L has to go first. So the T has to go first. Sorry, and you get a T spin mini too, so extra points. Yeah, but the thing about this first PC is that you should only go for it like if you're willing to risk it or if you're in a 1v1, right? So couple other ways that you can solve this IJT, although you probably never need to solve it like that. And the other way, okay, is when you get the LT early, then you can do this for Tetris PC, and it's still the same, like it still uses the same pieces. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, and then the third solve we're gonna be learning is the IOJ solve. And unfortunately, this one doesn't mirror, so it's only IOJ, and it only works with IOJ. It does not work with anything else. It doesn't work with IOL. Yeah, you can't mirror it. And finally, the last solve is JSZ. So there's a couple ways to solve this, right? So if you get the J early, then you have to do this. So let me go over it. You skim the J like this, right? And you get the Z. You clockwise once, soft drop, clockwise again. Wait, no, I'm stupid. It's counterclockwise. Yeah, okay. So I'm sorry. Skim the J. Alright, get the Z counterclockwise, which is your left key. And then soft drop, counterclockwise it again, and then counterclockwise it again. And boom. And then you take the S spin by clockwise and put it on the notch, soft drop, and then clockwise again. Boom. Yeah, that's how you get the JSZ solve. And if your Z and S come first, then of course you can just do it this way, or you could do it this way as well. Yeah, same thing. Right. So now that we've covered all 4 PCO solves, which yeah, now it's time to learn the seconds for them. So starting off, before we get into the second PCs, there's a couple things to note. You can build 3 white boxes like this, or like this. Alright, these are just some ways to build 3x4 boxes. 3x4 boxes, yeah. Alright, and the only way you can build 2 white boxes is if you do this TJ, or if you do, T, if you do TJ, so just make sure you have the T oriented the right way. So if you want to do the TJ solve, do it like this, and if you want to do the TL solve, you do it like this, right? Yeah, and that's how you build 2 white boxes. And also another way to build 2 white boxes, of course, is you just slam 2 O's on top of each other, or slam 2 I's on top of each other. Yeah, whatever. Right. Okay. So now we can start the second PCs. Right. So getting into the first one that we learned, which is the SJI solve or the ZLI solve. How to set up the second for it is like this, and then you solve it by building a 3x4 box on this side, and then so okay, let me break down the solve real quick. Over here you're gonna want to put the O piece, and then over here you're gonna want to build a 3x4 box. Wait, yeah, so Over here, you're gonna want to put the O piece. And then over here, you're gonna build a 3x4 box using the LJS or LJZ. Over here, you're gonna put the T, and you're just gonna put I here. And that's how this solve is really, really simple. So, okay, let's take a look at our queue. Right now we have L, and then we have Z. So we're gonna have to build the LZJ box, right? So if we're building the LZJ box, we can't put the L like this because, you know, okay, you want a chance to go for Tetris PC. So you want to build your 3x4 box upright like this so that you can like take the Tetris, right? Oops, I did not mean to do that. Yeah, so of course you could build this box like this, but it means like you have to place the I horizontally. So you have to put the L like this, Z, then O goes on top of O, T goes in the slot, J goes like this, and finally you take the Tetris. And the same thing goes for the other way around if you're using the other PC. So if just now we're using the second for the ISJ. So now for the second for the IZL, you're gonna be left with SZTO. Oops. Yeah, so JSZTO. Yeah, wait, JSTO. I'm sorry. Yep. So you literally just build it the other way around. Okay, so here we just, you know, find this and then we can tuck this under because we're building the box like this, like the 3x4 box, because the L is just gonna go here. And so if both your J and L pieces come absurdly late, like you're gonna have to do this where you just you do this and then you put the I here. So it depends on whether your J or L piece comes first, and then you can do this. So if your L piece comes first, then you can. Oops, I did not mean to. Oh God. Okay, yeah. So if your S piece comes first, then you just do it the other way around. So like this. So you just do it like that, and then you solve it like that. Yep. And so yeah, that's the second PC. Pretty simple, right? Okay. So going into the second PC, the second PC. I think I taught you IOJ. I'm sorry if I got the order wrong, right? But yeah. So for the IOJ, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, as well. So you'll only end up with the LSZT, and so you set it up like this. Pretty straightforward. And then on this side, you're gonna build a 3x4 box using the LOJ box. Right? Whoops, I did not mean that. Yeah, so on this side, you're gonna build the LOJ box using the 3x4. Oh my god. Okay, you know what I'm doing, right? Yeah, here, LOJ. And then and then you're just gonna take the Tetris here. And then in this like tub shaped area, yeah, it's called a tub, by the way, you're gonna have to put a T piece here and then an S piece here. Or you could do it the other way around with the T piece here and then the Z piece here. Yeah, so the T piece here and then the Z piece here. And it depends on your queue. So right now, looking at my queue, the Z comes earlier than the S. So, okay, I'm going to start building the LOJ box on the side. And I'm going to put the T on the right side because the Z is coming earlier so that I can put the Z here and then take the Tetris. That's literally the only way to solve it. Yeah, there's no deviation. So if you do get that solved. Alright, and the third one that I taught, I believe, is... Oh wait, no, I got the order mixed up. I'm sorry. But I taught JTI, right? So now I'm teaching LTI. So like LTI, JTI, that set of solves. So you'll be left with L, S, Z, and O. So how you set this up is basically you set it up like this, and then yeah. So this is the setup, and then for the solve, O goes on top of here. Now this solve is more complicated, right? You're gonna want to fill in this entire section here, and then after you've done that, you want to make the two high box, the two white box, which I showed you earlier using a T and a L or T and a J. So right now you're gonna put the O here, depending on the solve, right? And then like I mentioned this before I think, but this solve chance is extremely low, so I think it's only like 60%. We do get it here though. So there's two ways to solve it. There's two ways of completing this side box that I showed you. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Yeah, okay, so like I said, you have to complete this side box here. And there's two ways of doing that. So the first way is to, okay, both ways involve having the S here, right? And the obvious one you might spot is having the J here and then the I here, right? But the less obvious one is the S here, right? So you've got the I going over, and then the L goes under, and then you've completed the box as well. So let me show it to you. Right now, you're going with the, since I comes early, we've got an early T, which is like really good for solving, right? So since T comes early, and I comes early, and since I comes early, the I is going to go here, right? So that means we are going to use this solve where we put the J here. So in this case, we're going to have to set the T up for the L because we're using the J here. So the way we set the T up for the L is like this, right? So the Z goes here, I goes here, and we take the solve. And if you're unlucky and the T comes late, so you get the ZSI LJT, right? Oops. Yeah, okay, so then the Z goes here. Okay, this is the really unlucky case where the T comes like extremely late. But yeah, that's how you do it. So if like your T comes later, or like your J just doesn't come or whatever, right? You know that you have this solve to use as well. So you put the J here, the I here. Wait, no, wrong solve. You put the L here, the I here, and like that. Yeah, so it's basically just different ways of completing the box on the side to summarize, okay, because this solve is kind of hard. You always put the Z here, right? And then to fill in this section over here, you can either use L here, I here, or J here, and I here. And then this two white box, you just complete with TL or TJ. So make sure you set your T up in the right direction, depending on how you fix this box over here, because like that's going to affect which J or L piece you use. So your T setup is going to look different. All right, going into the last, I think this is the last one, the last second PC, and that is where you use the JSZ solve. Yeah, so this one is pretty straightforward. You are left with a LTIO, and how you set it up is like this. And yeah, so what you want to do is, oh wait, no, you set it up like this. I'm sorry, I missed out a piece. Yeah, so this is really straightforward. You just put O here, T in this slot, and then afterwards you make a 3x4 box, and then you just take the Tetris. That is really simple. And the same principles apply. So like to the second PC that I taught. So you see, right now I could build a 3x4 box like this, but sometimes I'm unable to do that. So you put the Z first, and then like you could solve it like this. Yep. So and then if yeah, like I showed it to you earlier. All right, so those are all the second PCs. Now here's a little thing to note, right? Which is okay, so let me just set up a PCO real quick. So okay, I actually do have the solve right now, ZLI, but when you don't get any of the four solves, you're gonna have to do something called extending. And so generally you just want to extend using the ZLI solve or the SJI solve. So let me find a case in which I don't have PCO, don't have the solve. Oh, I do get it here, but it's the bad one. Okay, so let's say you really hate this solve and you don't want to go with it. Then you're gonna set up for the yeah, just like that. I don't know how to explain it, but you're gonna set up for the second PC. So bearing which first PC you're going for, which is ZLI. And since you're going for ZLI, you should set up for the ZLI second. CLI second, which is TJIS, right? TJOS. Yep. So you set up the setup on the side while like completing the solve on the side. So, and the reason why you should only extend with this one is because, okay, let's say I built a PCO which is like normal, like this, right? Okay, yeah, I do get this solve again, the ZJI solve, but okay, let's say I really hate it, right? Then I will extend like this, and this solve is like it's really simple to extend because like it's the solve that you can always extend. It's the most reliable extendable source. So you just J here, and then you just extend using this Z, and then put the O on the side. So when you're extending, the O always goes here. Yeah, and then you just set it up on this 4 wide like platform here. Yep. Yeah, so that's extending in a nutshell. So you just do that, and then you just set up the next PC. I think you set it up like this, 180. Yeah. Okay, so let me just quickly go through this solve. Alright, so what I'm seeing right now is I have an early Z and S, and I comes right after, and the O comes really, really late, so I can't do this. Because like I can't fill in the side for the L to go in, right? So what I do instead is I put the Z here, so that I can place the I and then I can 180 the J in to build the 3x4 box with the L on top and then the O over. Yeah, so sometimes you're gonna have to do that. Just use your brain. So let's get on with the DPC. The DPC is the third PC which brings you back to the first PC. And how it does that is by, instead of using 10 pieces, it actually uses alright, let's do the math, shall we? Okay, so you've got 7 pieces from the first PC. No, not 7 pieces. I'm sorry, 10 pieces from the first PC. So, and then 10 pieces from the next PC, right? So now you've used up a total of 20 pieces. And so in order to complete the loop, you need it to end on a multiple of 7, right? So since you've used 20, what the DPC does is that I think it 7 times 5, no, it uses 15 pieces. Yeah, it uses 15 pieces to get you to use a total of 35 pieces, which brings you back to the start of the bag. Okay, you don't need to understand this. You don't need to understand this, and all you need to know is for the DPC, you're gonna be left over with a saved piece, and for all, 1 saved piece. And for all the solves that I've taught you earlier, it will all leave you with a Z or an S. And from now on, you're gonna build the setup based on. Okay, so there are two kinds of DPs. There's two kinds of DPs. S or Z DPCs. One is where the O comes before the next Z. So right now we're working with Z, right? So when the O comes before the next Z, it's a good thing because you can build the good DPC, which is like this. This is the good DPC. And okay, this one, the O comes before the next S as well, because we're working with S now, right? The O comes before the next S, which is also pretty cool. Yeah, okay, so this is the bad DPC. So this, and then how you set it up is you do this, and you do this. So this is the bad DPC. Just a quick, let you guys know kind of thing. Okay, so in certain cases, you will be able to force the good DPC, even though the Z comes before O. In this case, you're not, because the T comes way too early. So like if you try to force it, like you hold and you get into the T. But say sometimes, you get alright, so like yeah, here. So you do notice that you get the S before the O, but the T doesn't come early enough to interrupt that. So obviously you could set it up like this, right? But you could actually force the good DPC by doing this. And although you're supposed to place the S now, you can actually hold and put the O. And since the T doesn't come yet, right, you can just like kind of brave it out. Okay, I'm gonna start teaching the first DPC. the good one, right? And yeah, okay. So this is the good DPC, and it is good because there are only 2 solves. You only ever need to memorize 2 solves. Okay, this is okay. You take the T-spin. Right. And this is the first solve. Right. It's literally it. Okay, just take your time to memorize it. J here, Z here, O here. You can place the S first, provided the I doesn't come before the L. If you can't place the S like this if the I comes before the L. The I does come after the L, so we can place the L. We can place the S like this, and the L can slide under. Right. So for the other solve, it is when your T comes first, and then you can kind of do this. Like this. So memorize this solve quickly. This is T. Right, so I told you how to do S spins earlier. So okay, you place the L, the SP spawns in, you clockwise once, and then you soft drop clockwise again, and it's in. And you just solve the JO. So basically this is for early T. Yeah. For early T, you just do this, and for late T, you do the previous solve. Early T, you just put the T there, and then C goes here, S goes here, L goes here, and J and O just kind of fall into their spots on the side. Yep. Alright. Then now going into the other DPC, the bad one. Alright, so I'll be continuing the Lime DPC tutorial here. So yeah, like I mentioned earlier, you can do the DPC like this. And I didn't get it. Alright, so there's a total of 7 solves, and we can group those solves into what pieces you use for the heart shape on the left, which is here, right? I don't have the highlight function anymore. Yeah. So there are a total of, let me see, 3 different combinations you can put on this side. Alright, the first combination, which I've already showed you, was the JO, right? Which is the for good of, for the good, the you know the T-spin solve. So yeah, the JO goes there. Nice. Right? And then another way of building it is O over here, and then the L on top. So that's the heart shape field. And then another way of building it is S L like that. And then the final way of building it is using ZJ. So for this solve, there's only one way to solve it, and that is to do this. Alright. Okay, yeah. But for the ZJ solve, there's 2 ways to solve it. One is if you get O early, and in this case, I do get O early. I get it before S, right? And I don't want that. So, I think I can still solve it here. But my point being that, you know, you want to, yeah. So, kind of, yeah. I'll just go through all of the DPCs with you. Okay, so, okay, here, I here, S, O, L, S. And that's for the ZJ build on the left. But let's say ZJ and you get late L. I mean late S and T, which I don't here. But let's say I do, right? Like here. Okay, how perfect. Then you have to skim the L and O like this and do that. Okay, that's both ZJ solves covered. Now we will try to cover that one SL solve. Okay, so let me just restart until I get it. Yep, okay, this is it. So SL, and then you just kind of build an OJ box here, side here, and then you just, fill in the rest. Just like that. Cool, so now there's SL and JZ covered, and that's 3 solves covered. So you're halfway there. And now, we've already covered the good solve, which is this one, the T-spin, which is for OJ. The site is built by OJ. But another way of solving the OJ heart is the OJ like heart shape, which is what some people call it, the heart shape, is okay. I get the good solve again for some reason, right? But another way of solving the heart shape is by doing this. It's the same thing as the OL. Yeah, I already showed it to you. And for OL, it's the same thing as solving the ZJ alt form. So it goes like this. Yeah, so it's basically the same thing as the JO solve that I showed earlier. And that's pretty much all the solves that I showed. Yeah, that's all the solves. Oh, except for this one last ZJ solve that I didn't show, I think. So ZJ, I was telling you like if you got late ST, then you should do that. But okay, like here we got late ST, so we should do that. Try to refresh your memory. But when we don't get late ST, which we do again here, by the way, oh my god. So if we don't get late ST, like here, right? Then you put the T here and then you skim you rotate the S under and then you just do that. Yep. Yeah, and that's basically all the solves covered. So to go over ZJ, there's two solves. One where there's the early OL where you skim it across, and then one there's the early TS, which is at the bottom. For SJ, there's only one solve. For SL, there's only one solve, and that's where you put the O here, the J under, Z here, and the T here. Yeah, I just recommend look at them at 4.lol, but I'm just here to make it a little like you can see the solves going on, right? And I guess might be helpful. This one again. Alright, so now I'll end it off with a demonstration of a run. I'll just run through, like do an example, I guess. So now we'll be doing an example run, and I'll be trying to go as slow as possible to try to explain my thought process. So we built the PCO, and since I see an early ZL, I'll just try to extend using this ZL solve.
Double.
Right, and then I'll extend by putting the O here, and then I'll finally finish off the first PC. Then, okay, I know that this O definitely goes here. Right, so now I have to build the box, and then I see that the S comes early. So I'm going to set up the box in a way that I can put the S on top. And I'm going to fit the T in the hole, and boom. Okay, so now that I see that we are supposed to do Z DPC, right? Because Z was in my hole until I held it. And I see that O comes after Z, but T doesn't come first. So I can force the good DPC. So I'm going to do that. Yep, so now we got the good DPC. So I'm going to take the TSD. Okay, so now I see that T comes before J. Okay, let's not think about it too much now. I'm going to do this. And I think I should be able to solve it using this way. Because, yeah, just looking at my queue, I can solve it this way. Instead of, the T doesn't come early. The T comes rather late. So I'll just solve it this way.
Back-to-back Tetris.
Cool. Okay, that's completed one loop. And then we just loop straight back. So we don't get the PC again. So we just extend. And this time I'll be extending with ISJ.
Double.
And then I'll just set it up. Okay, and then I'll put the O on top to solve. Make the box. And since S comes early, I'll put J flat. And I get lucky and I get Tetris PC. And I get lucky. And I get, of course, I get the Z DPC, but I get the good DPC straight away. So because O comes early, and then I can just take the DPC. And here, I can just solve it the same way that I did earlier.
Back-to-back Tetris.
Okay, I did not mean to restart, but it's fine since we are looping anyways. And here I do get the PC.
Double.
And then I set up the second for that PC. Yeah, I built the box again because the S comes early, so I put the J at the bottom.
Tetris.
And here I get the good DPC again, so my luck is really bussin'. Okay, so the S always goes here, so it's fine. So I put the L here, and then I put the T here. And like this, I'm able to get the Tetris PC.
Back-to-back Tetris.
And once again, I build it, and this time I don't get the PC, so I'll just extend.
Double.
I'll just do this, and then like this. And oh, cool. So I'll put the O on top. And now LS comes first, so I'll build the box this way instead.
Tetris.
Okay, so now we have to use the bad DPC, so I'll just use it.
Back-to-back T-spin.
And it looks like here we are able to do this. On the other side it will be OL, but here it will be OJ solve, where we skim it like this, and then we skim it like this, and then we skim it like that. Right, and then we go straight back to first, and oh, we get the PC.
Double.
So, and then, okay, I see the early L and the early Z, so I'll build the box this way instead.
Double.
And then boom. Okay, I'm gonna use the bad DPC purposely for practice sake, but you know, you should try to force good DPC.
T-spin.
Alright, so I see the early SL, so I'll just instantly go for that. And the O always goes here for this solve, so and then I'll just soft drop 180,
Double.
and then boom.
Double.
And I'll just keep looping again. So here I don't have the solve, so I'm just gonna extend again like this.
Double.
And then I'm gonna build the box like this because based on my queue.
Tetris.
And yeah. And then I get the bad DPC,
Back-to-back T-spin.
and I just use the exact same solve that I just used. Oh, except it doesn't work out now because I'm stupid. Right, so yeah, I'll do a little more of it. Okay, so here we do get this solve, which is like this.
Double.
And the second for that goes like this. Which I just built the box here like I was doing earlier, and I just put the O on top, and then there's two eyepieces.
Triple.
And then here we get the good DPC because the O comes early. And then
Double.
we'll solve the DPC using the T here because we got the early T. And so,
Double.
yep. And I'll keep going until I find an anomaly situation. Okay, so here we get this PC,
T-spin mini. Double.
right? And okay, so right now I can see that T actually comes early enough, so I can solve the box by putting the I vertical like this. Wait, no, I can't. So I have to put the O here, and then I have to slide the J under. And luckily, I do get this PC, so I'm setting up the T for the L two white box.
Double.
And cool, so now we're back at DPC and we have the bad DPC, so I'm just gonna do that.
T-spin double.
And then we have the early OJ, so I'll just build that heart shape right side. And I'll do the TL skim solve, because that's the only solve for that particular OJ heart shape thing. So here I don't get it again. Here I'll just extend. Oh, I used the wrong extend. But yeah. I guess that's pretty much it. Just I need to find an anomaly situation. I already showed you like the case where you okay, this
Double.
one. You still solve and then you build the setup. And then okay, since we're trying to save S, right? We absolutely cannot use S to make the box here, because we're trying to save SZ. So we should build the box like this instead.
Double.
Yeah. And I think that's enough demoing, so yeah, I hope you can DPC spam now, otherwise I'm useless. Okay, bye.